All right, let's get started. I really, tonight, mostly wanted to talk to you guys about walking new folks through detoxing. We've had a lot of new people over the last month or two, and a lot of people are starting to see some detox issues. And I just wanted to really kind of cover the best ways to help them walk through that process because it's different for everybody. Some people are going to get detox symptoms and some aren't. I mean, some of the people that I've helped, and I'm just 100% sure, I know they have a lot of candida issues going on, and I'm just waiting for them to call me and be like, I'm miserable and I hurt. And I check in with them and they're like, oh, I'm doing great. And I'm like, wow, I thought you were really going to detox. And they never get it. And some people that you don't think are going to really detox a whole lot do. They really have a lot of issues processing stuff. So you never really know, but that's why we're checking in with people really often in the beginning. Basically, the reason that people are detoxing is when they're killing candida, candida dies off in waves. So it's like colonies. So it will kind of not do so hot, and then all of a sudden the whole colony will die off. So you're kind of attacking with your probio, and then a whole colony will die off. So they can go through a detox period and feel really rotten just for a small period of time, and then start to feel better, and then it can go back to that. And so it's sort of a roller coaster like that. This is definitely a marathon and not a sprint. Going through detox is something that you want to be looking at the long term. When you're talking to people, it needs to be encouraging about why this is a good thing. We want detox to be manageable, but we're never going to tell them that there's a guarantee they won't detox, because they might. You never know. Like I said, some people don't, but if we explain to them ahead of time that we are going to help them walk through this process in the most manageable way possible. Our job is to help them to, go through this as smoothly as possible and with minimal detox reactions. That's what I usually try to tell people. And that wording seems to help them understand. They might have it, but if they are, I'm going to help them make that more comfortable. And I explain to them why it's a good thing. So as this yeast is dying off, it's an organism. And so when it dies, it produces toxins. Your body can kind of get backed up with that. And one of the things that I saw was that, or that I heard was a kitchen sink and disposal and dishwasher kind of analogy. So basically, if if you're running your disposal on and off, and maybe you've done some dishes and you've got some scraps left over in your disposal, right? Then you go to run your dishwasher, and all of a sudden the water's backing up and the yuck's kind of coming up into your sink, right? And that is basically kind of what is happening if we're not getting the toxins out. So when people are dealing with die-off from candida and they're actually getting some of these toxins going through, if they can't flush them out, they're going to get maybe gas, bloating, it could be constipation, could be diarrhea, it could go either way. They could be getting flu-like symptoms. They could be getting a sinus infection, a yeast infection, skin issues, acne, whatever the yeast is kind of targeting in their body can really get exacerbated before it goes away. So that's kind of an analogy of what it can do. It sort of backs up a little bit, and what we have to do is help them flush that out. So your skin is your largest detoxing organ. So it's going to be kind of noticeable because it's the largest one. A lot of people deal with skin detoxing. So if people call you and say, hey, I'm breaking out, it's normal and it's going to go away. If it gets bad, they can back off a little bit on the probiotic. They can kind of dial that down a little bit so that the detoxing isn't so strong. But, let them know that that is a normal thing. The liver, though, is your main detoxing organ. So that's the one that's doing the hard work. That's the one that's trying to get all of this stuff out. And some of these things, most of us aren't starting this early on. Some of our kids are, but most of us aren't starting this really early. We've got years and years of toxins and backup and stuff in our systems. So a lot of times we need to give the liver some extra support as well when you're going through that detoxing period. Some of the best things you can do is, obviously you want to be drinking your water. Normally that's going to be your body weight cut in half, but you're drinking that number in ounces every day. And when you're detoxing, you can even up that some more. You've got to be getting that through, because the only way to flush the toxins out is with water. And some people, if they're not tracking their water, they're not getting it, and then they don't understand why they don't feel so good, because they just can't get it out. So that helps a lot. Epsom salt baths can help a lot. That was something that we did with my son nightly for, I want to say maybe 3 years. It was rare that we missed a night. And if we did, he was aggressive and irritable the next day because he was backed up full of toxins and we were having a hard time getting it out. That was before we started the natural type protocols that helped him with the yeast. We were treating with pharmaceuticals at the time, and he was having a really hard time detoxing. His pathways just don't function the way that other people's do. So some of the other things that we did for him with detoxing the liver, that's very common, helpful things for the liver, is a product called milk thistle. And that is an herb that is amazing for helping the liver to kind of open up and just let stuff flush out. It's a great liver support thing. It's not necessarily needed to be a long-term thing. It's something that you can just take if you're dealing with some extra detox stuff. I want to say Chris probably took it for maybe a month or two in the very beginning when we were kind of starting his system going again. I was listening to something by Jill Werniss, who's a holistic health coach, and she was saying there's a product called the Now Liver Detoxifier and Regenerator. Now, capital NOW is the brand name of that. And that has like milk thistle and dandelion and some other things that help to produce glutathione. And that's your body's most powerful antioxidant. That's the one that is neutralizing free radicals. It enhances the immune system and it detoxifies the liver. So glutathione got to be going in there correctly in order for your body to work. It's not going to detox enough without that. Another trace mineral that people need is called molybdenum. Yeah, molybdenum. I got to make sure I'm saying that right. Molybdenum helps to protect your cells. It creates energy. It detoxifies. Oh, detox tea. And that's dandelions. You can unmute yourself, Erin. It's fine.
It's Yogi Detox Dandelion Tea. I drink that twice a day while I'm going through die-off, and then once a day out of that. And you do that for about 2 weeks. And
okay.
I can really tell a difference.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, teas and like essential oils can be really good for detoxing also. Like that, yeah, that stuff is amazing. Molybdenum is actually one of the things that is in our X Factor Plus now. So that is also something that we can make sure that we're telling people if they're having a hard time with detoxing, see if they are willing to add X Factor Plus into their regimen, because between the molybdenum, obviously generally the vitamins and minerals in there are going to help, but specifically molybdenum is going to help with detoxing. It helps so much that when Chris was going through this and it was really rough for him at one point, I ran out of molybdenum. I paid $35 to overnight a $17 bottle of molybdenum to my house. That's how important it was. He was totally great the next day. So molybdenum can really help a lot. And then the X Factor Plus also has methylated B12, which is another thing. In the way that our doctor used to describe it is it sort of opens up the pathways. It's like the on-ramp. And if everybody's all backed up trying to get on the on-ramp to the freeway, nobody's going anywhere. So if we open up a couple extra lanes, then everything moves along smoothly. And that's what we're trying to do for the toxins. So methylated B12 is amazing for that. So I usually try to get people on to the X Factor Plus anyway, just because it's an amazing product for everybody, but it is so helpful for detoxing people. Another thing that Jill Werniss had recommended is sometimes she has people back down a little bit on the ProBio while they're doing some of this liver detoxing stuff. So, and that's something that I've mentioned as well. Like I'll have people maybe back down by one if they're bumping up in our regimen and they suddenly are feeling a whole lot worse. Go back down, stay there another week or so, and then you can bump up again. And it shouldn't be as bad, because you're going to be, working on those toxins in between. But if you're adding in something along this line to help the liver detox, especially doing Epsom salt baths, like Erin said, drinking the tea, essential oils. And there's a lot of people on our team that are using essential oils when they're detoxing, and that helps so much. Basically, that's something that people don't really understand, that it's a good thing, because they're like, well, I'm taking these products and now I don't feel good. So it's our job to make sure that we're letting them know that this is what means it's working. Like when you're detoxing and you're feeling kind of rotten, whatever it is that you're feeling right then, that's because these products are working. They are cleaning out things in your body that have been there. Things like toxins that get stuck in fat cells. They're fat soluble toxins. B12 is what's going to get rid of that. B12, like methylated B12, is cleaning that stuff out of your system. So when you're really doing a deep clean, it's going to take a while. And sometimes you're going to hit some nasty stuff. I mean, if you've ever cleaned like an old bathroom, sometimes you're going to find some nasty stuff. Sometimes it's easy going and it's sort of a roller coaster. So really and truly, that's what we're going through and what we need to be helping our people through. If they're saying that they're maybe gaining a little bit of weight, or they're, like I said, having skin issues, things like that, having bloating and gas, don't be afraid to put them in a chat thread with your sponsor, all the way up, go all the way up if you need to. If you want them in a chat thread with me, put them in a chat thread with me. I have a ton of detoxing experience as far as, learning from Chris's doctor, when we were working with all of his stuff. So I am more than happy to help you guys walk your people through it. I would rather have somebody ask a million questions and feel comfortable with the information that they're getting than sit and wonder, is this normal? And a lot of times people don't know if it's normal and they don't think it's the products. So they keep taking them and they're feeling rotten, and then they increase it and they feel worse and they don't understand, and then they quit, but they don't talk to you. So it's normal in the beginning, if they're feeling that way, for them to kind of not really say anything because they don't know what they're looking for. If you've seen the message that I usually send out when people start Triplex, it's going to talk about, you might experience some detox reactions. If you do, it's normal. Make sure that you're talking to me about it. So basically, like I said, you want to be positive with them. You want to make sure that they understand why they're detoxing, why it's happening. And then you want to word things, you want to be asking them questions in a way that helps them to kind of look for things that are detoxing. Have you noticed any changes? And sometimes they'll go, oh, well, yeah, I gained a couple of pounds. Is that normal? Whereas they probably wouldn't have said that if you just said, how are your products going? Oh, they're going great, because they're taking them, but they might not know to look for a detoxing reaction. So ask them what kind of changes they've noticed. And that way they can give you good and or bad, because sometimes they're going to say, you know what, I really don't feel very good. And you can say, okay, tell me exactly what you're feeling. Tell me, is it just bloating and gas? Okay, that's normal. How many BioCleanse are you taking? How many probios? And a lot of that stuff is on our Google Drive also. It kind of walks you through some detoxing and some troubleshooting for people. But like I said, feel free to put them in three-way chats. We can do Zoom calls if we need to, whatever. I really want people to understand what's going on and how it can help them. So that was mostly what I had as far as tonight for training purposes for the detoxing. Did you guys have any questions on that specifically? I know I covered a whole lot of stuff. Okay, I can't hear you. I know a couple of you are saying things. You can unmute yourselves.
I was just nodding and going, no, it was good.
Okay.
I went through so much detox crap that I feel like it doesn't overwhelm me as much, because I'm like, yep, check, did that. I still deal with breakouts when I'm not all the way done. Like it's been 6 months and I'm still not. But I mean, I was born probably with yeast overgrowth, because, all that stuff about inheriting the mother, and I grew up drinking soda instead of water. So I've got 43 years to undo. It's going to be a little while.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot. Well, I was feeling so crappy before I started that I thought I can't possibly feel worse. So the only major thing that I even noticed, so I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to talk my friends through it, even though I know all this stuff in my head. The only thing I really experienced was a few weeks of just total bitchiness. Hey. And I was beyond irritable, and it was bad, but I didn't really feel sick. I didn't really have issues. I didn't get headaches. But again, if I did, it wasn't uncommon. I was already feeling that way prior. So if I did, I didn't notice it or attribute it to the product. So I'm touching base with a few friends, hoping that, one of my friends that started it only did it a few days and then went on a trip and didn't do it. So I'm like, okay, let's get back. And so hopefully, because they have a lot more issues, physical issues than I did. So I'm expecting her to have issues.
Right.
So I'm
like I said, sometimes the people that expect to have issues don't have as much as you think.
Right, exactly.
But the irritability definitely is a detox symptom. I dealt with that as well, where
it was bad.
yeah. Thankfully, my husband knew as well, and he was doing it too, and we would just be like, okay, I think we're just detoxing. So, but some extra water.
You're saying it goes in waves?
Like
it'll go in waves. Like if I'm feeling totally fine today, this week, then next week maybe when a colony dies off, I might feel like teetotal crap.
If you're still in the early stages, yes, that can happen. Okay. But it's not going to be as strong of a reaction the longer you're out from starting the products. So like when you've been on them for a week or two, your roller coaster might be a little bit like, okay, I feel really good today. And then today I feel really tired. Like I just feel like I've been hit by a truck today.
Yeah, no, I did do some of that.
Like, okay, I don't feel so bad anymore, but my stomach kind of hurts. And you might kind of do that more in the first couple of weeks. As you get out a little bit farther along your journey, you're not going to detox as strongly because you've been doing some of that work every day. Even on the days that you feel better, your body's been processing it well, so you're not going to have as intense of a reaction as you go.
So is the reflux that was fine for 2 months that's kind of coming back a little bit, that's just part of it too?
Yep.
Okay. That's what I assumed. Other than when I eat poorly, it's even worse, but I'm trying not to do that, so.
Yes, and I will say that when your gut is healthy and your body is functioning properly, it's going to tell you pretty clearly what you don't want anymore. So if there's something that's causing you to have acid reflux or to have bloating and gas, you're going to know, because your body is now, it knows what normal's supposed to feel like, and then it goes, oh, this doesn't make me feel good, don't do this anymore. I never knew that I couldn't tolerate regular plain white potatoes. I can eat organic potatoes, but whatever they treat regular plain white potatoes with, I can't eat them anymore. I blow up looking 4 months pregnant.
Wow.
And I never had that problem before, but once my body got normal and realized, hey, this is what we're supposed to feel like, it was like, I don't want that. You're not going to eat that anymore.
Chemicals. Yeah, and my enemy has always been carbs, but most recently with the reflux. So the reflux and the I told my doctor that at my visit a couple weeks ago, and I said, I know that the reflux comes if I eat carbs, eat too many carbs, and she was like, yes, thank you. And I was like, okay, because most people want to figure out what makes them feel bad. They just want medicine to fix the feel bad. And I'm like, I know what's making me feel bad, but here lately, I'm not craving anything. I have actually reached that point where I'm not craving pizzas or sodas or pastas or anything. So it's awesome. So now it's not as hard to eat healthy because that's the only thing that really sounds good.
Awesome. I'm so glad. Hey, Phil.
I was like, you're not muted.
Yeah.
Was he helping making the baby sleep, Erin?
Yes.
I figure.
You took care of it so I could jump on.
Yeah, I experienced the headaches and it was like almost migraines as part of my detox symptoms, and then the tiredness, it's like, what is wrong? Then I was like, okay, I looked up at the symptoms that you have on the Google Drive, and I was like, okay, that's exactly what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like it could come and go, right, Allison? Right. That's what you said.
Yes.
Sometimes mine's the fatigue and the brain fog.
What's that?
Brain fog is bizarre.
Oh, wow.
Because I used to
Today
live with the
too.
brain fog all the time.
Yeah.
But now when it's gone most of the time, when it comes back for a 24-hour period, I feel stoned because like, I can't think. There's just what? And I'll just be off in la la land. And I'm like, okay, I used to live like this. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that same thing today. I was talking to my boss and I was trying to think. I said, the thing with the thing. And I was like, oh my God, I can't think of words. And I thought, it's supposed to be getting better and I can't think anymore. So that's good to know that it's in waves, because I was thinking it's going to be really bad at first and then totally go away.
Yes,
But
and it's waves, and it depends on, like you said, how you're eating and that kind of stuff. I mean, at Leaders Retreat, I probably drank a little more than I normally do. Actually, I did definitely drink a little more than I normally do.
I think several of you did. I think several of you did. There were some live videos.
Yes. Carrie's video was a good one.
We're having a good time.
We were having a good time. We were having a good time. But, and that's alcohol feeds yeast. So I knew that. I was taking a little extra probio, took a block beforehand, like I was trying to prepare, but I'm still kind of detoxing a little bit from that and going through a little bit of a wave cycle just from eating differently because I was out of town and then drinking more than I typically would. So you never know, but it's an ongoing cycle, and it does die in colonies. So it will basically change based on how you're eating and what you're doing with your body.
So the ProBio 5 or the Bio Cleanse, which one do they back off of a little bit when they're experiencing pretty severe symptoms? Both or just ProBio?
A lot of times it depends on exactly what symptoms they're having. If they're and what they've changed right beforehand. If they have been going up in their bio cleanse and maybe up in their probio kind of at the same time, if they're getting gas and bloating or they're going to the bathroom too much, they can back off a little bit on the bio cleanse. If they're just having like too much of all sorts of other reactions, back them off on the probio a little bit, because basically the bio cleanse is kind of flushing everything out. So and it can cause a little bit of gas and bloating if it's not coming out the way it's supposed to. But basically the one that's causing the excess toxins to be released when you're killing the yeast is the probio. So if that kind of helps you decide, I mean, that's really kind of a case by case basis. So
and that's what I saw. Like I asked you guys the other day with Mom and Aaron with no gallbladders and any kind of digestive issues, so they backed off the bio cleanse. But then I thought, well, if the yeast killing is part of the problem, then it would be the ProBio 5. So that helps.
Right. Yeah, and with no bio cleanse, you have to be really careful with anyway, because that tends to cause more loose stool and cause things to kind of go through more quickly. And so you have to be more careful with BioCleanse really in any scenario that causes, like whether it's IBSD or Crohn's or whatever's causing too much to go through, be careful with the BioCleanse.
Okay.
That's always been my problem. That's why I do the tea and the Epsom salt baths, because when I do have to back off of the BioCleanse, I don't want it festering in my intestines. So I bump up on the other stuff.
Good plan.
And if there's the opposite, if it's a constipation issue, then they need to up BioCleanse?
They can up BioCleanse. If they have just increased ProBio and they're getting backed up, then you can have them back off on the ProBio and see if that goes back to normal, because some people, their bodies will react to the toxins by stopping everything. Like it just kind of gets all backed up. So so definitely, I mean, they kind of have two options, because it depends on where they are with their BioCleanse. If they're taking 4 already every day, they may just want to go back down on the ProBio and see if that's what was causing it. So it's a lot of trial and error, and there's going to be a lot of questions as you go.
Some guidance.
Mm-hmm.
But that gives me some guidance as to like which products, kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah, and those are the kind of things that you can always ask in the Tribe Runners thread, throw those in there, and that way everybody else is kind of learning as you're asking a question about, somebody had this happen when they increased this or when they decreased that. and where do I go from here? And we'll help you with it in that way for sure. But I guess that kind of covers it on detoxing. It was good questions and conversation afterwards. Thank you. I hope it was helpful for you guys. It was kind of interesting to learn all of that for me, some of the extra stuff that I didn't know. And basically the other thing that I wanted to just cover was that, of course, end of the month is tomorrow. So kind of just go back through, make sure that your people, that everybody's orders have gone through, that they're getting their products on time and everything. And then message me with your goals for what you are looking to do in November. I know we've got a couple people that are looking to rank up, which is really exciting. So message me that. Let's talk details. Let's figure out how we're going to make that happen for you. And then Saturday and Sunday is the new back office. I'm so excited. So yeah, that's been going on. We'll be getting lots of emails and stuff like that to help us with that transition. But oh my gosh, I'm so ready for this new back office. It's supposed to make everything all better. And there's my ambassador. So I think that's kind of all I have for right now. So if y'all have any other questions, I'll answer those before we go. Otherwise, I'll let y'all go for the night.
Sounds good.
Guess we're good.
Well, hat.
I know. That's what I was saying. I like that. You have great.
Yeah, y'all feel left out over here. We're the No Hat Club.
I know.
All right. Well, y'all
a lot,
have